Looking for the ultimate stuffed shells recipe? Well, look no further. Today I'm cooking with Tammy. I'm going to show you how to make the best creamy Tuscan Cajun chicken and sausage stuffed shells. I know it's a mouthful, but trust me, it's going to be absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's introduce our ingredients and get to cooking. So we're going to be using both green and red bell peppers along with diced onions, finely chopped garlic. And for our cheeses, we're going to be rocking out with parmesan cheese and smoked gouda. And we may even incorporate some mozzarella cheese. I used a large chicken breast, however, I sliced it in half, and this is going to be sufficient enough to get this recipe popping. Use whichever sausages you prefer for this particular recipe. I'm going to be using cheddar sausages because it's going to be the perfect complement, trust me. Along with a little chicken bouillon and of course your girl's Cajun and Creole seasoning. I know you see the seafood seasoning, but disregard the seafood seasoning. It's just basically to let everyone know that we do also have seafood seasoning. Along with our sun-dried tomatoes, jumbo shells, fresh baby spinach, and heavy cream. With all of that being said, let's get this pot rocking and let's get to cooking. The water is nice and hot, so we're going to add a small pinch of salt just to give it a little flavor. And we're going to add our jumbo shells. Allow them to cook all the way through until they're nice and al dente. Be sure to refer to the back of the box for any cooking instructions. We're going to start off with seasoning our chicken. We're going to add a small drizzle of oil, and we're going to hit it off with a ton of Cajun seasoning because guess what? We got it like that. Our Cajun seasoning has no salt added. We're also going to add some Creole seasoning, which does contain a small amount of salt, which when paired together creates the perfect balance. We're going to take our hands and pat it on in. Make sure the seasoning is what? Stick and stuck and stuck and stick. We want flavor in every single bite of this chicken, all right? You hear me? And of course, when you're rocking out with these seasonings, you don't need to add any additional seasonings as far as like garlic powder, onion powder, unless you're looking for that extra garlicky flavor. Because these seasonings right here have everything already combined in one bottle. So anything further is definitely not necessary. We're going to flip the chicken on over and we're going to repeat the same process. Hit it off with that small drizzle, followed by our Cajun seasoning, along with our Creole seasoning. And we're going to pat that seasoning on in once again. Everything is looking absolutely beautiful and perfectly seasoned. We're going to heat our pan up and sear these chicken breasts on up. Add a small drizzle of oil to a nice hot skillet. And let's place our chicken flat down into the pan. Allow the chicken to cook on up for about, let's say, 5 minutes on each side. Basically because the size of this chicken breast right here is fairly thin. However, you're going to cook your chicken until it reaches an internal temp of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Because it's really hard to put a cooking time on meat based on the fact that there's different textures, different sizes, and so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying. In the meanwhile, while our chicken is cooking, let's slice up our sausages. Cut it in any direction you want to cut it. Cut it horizontally, vertically, and no, I'm just playing. But basically, slice it in circles diagonally. It doesn't matter. Once we get it all sliced on up, that's all we care about. And check it on out. We have those little cheesy bits going on. I can guarantee it's going to be, when we put everything together, it's going to be mouth-watering delicious. However, feel free to rock out with whatever brand or type of sausages you prefer. But this right here is going to be epic. In the meanwhile, let's check on our chicken. Let's flip it on over. And as you can see, it's looking good. We're going to allow it to brown on the other side as well. I went ahead and grated some of the cheeses and our chicken is almost finished. So we are ahead of the game. The trick to getting a delicious creamy Alfredo sauce is using freshly grated cheeses. Do not use the cheese in the bag because it's not going to give you that nice smooth texture and consistency. Let's check on these shells. Let's strain it on off. Allow them to cool down just a bit. Our chicken is done. Check it on out. Nice and juicy. Drip, drip. And we are going to place it onto our cutting board just like that. We're going to keep our flavors going in this pan. We're going to add our sausages and brown these bad boys on up. Make sure the sausages are getting full surface contact because we want everything to brown perfectly. I went ahead and removed our sausages And using that same pan, you know what I'm saying? We're going to introduce our onions along with our bell peppers, both red and green. But we're going to hold the garlic for just a second. Getting there, toss it around really good. It's about that time, so I'm going to add the garlic. Reason why I didn't add the garlic so soon in the process is because we don't want our garlic to burn. So we're going to add our garlic, allow it to become nice and fragrant. And we want our veggies to break down slightly, but not too softened. Because here's the trick, guys. When you allow your veggies to cook through too much, you lose that color vibrancy. We're also going to add some heavy cream. Let's add our chicken bouillon for that extra flavor. We're going to jazz the sauce up just a bit, so we're going to add some Creole seasoning along with Cajun seasoning. Get in there, give it a good stir. Make sure everything is well combined. And this is perfect. At this point in time, our flame should be on a low heat. I'm going to add my freshly grated parmesan and gouda cheese. Oh my goodness. We're going to allow our sauce to thicken on up. This part right here should take about 5 minutes. In order to give our sauce somewhat of a Tuscan feel, we're going to add some spinach. And we're also going to go in with our sun-dried tomatoes. These sun-dried tomatoes, let me tell you guys, if you haven't tried it already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Don't be scared. Grab yourself some sun-dried tomatoes and trust me, they bring out the flavor in just about everything. Not to mention, when it comes to the saucy sauce, man, listen, it definitely makes the sauce pop. And it's about that time. Our chicken has been resting, so we are going to cut into our chicken. Woo, look at all this juice. Goodness gracious. Slice the chicken in chunks, and we are going to be good to go. We're going to add our chicken to our sauce along with our sausages. I hope you didn't forget about the sausages. We're going to add it all. And we're going to mix it up really good. And for any reason, if your chicken is not cooked all the way through, no worries, because adding it to the sauce would definitely get the job done at this point in time. Allow it to simmer down some more because we want our sauce to thicken up even more. After about 5 minutes, I went ahead and turned off the stove top. As you can see, everything has thickened up. Behind the scenes, I went ahead and I removed some of the creamy Tuscany sauce. Yes, I did. I took some of the sauce out. Reason being is because we're going to add it to our casserole dish to coat the bottom of the dish basically. We're going to add some of this delicious filling to our shells. Don't be afraid to stuff it on up. We're going to place it down in the casserole dish just like this. Let me tell you something, guys. If it's one thing about me, I love food. And not just any food, guys. I love great tasting food. It has to be delicious. Oh my goodness. That's the ultimate goal for me, striving for the best flavors. Once I achieve that, I am a happy camper. We're going to add a small amount of gouda and mozzarella. Just a small amount, guys. If you want to add a ton, feel free. You could definitely do that. But for this particular recipe, because I want to keep that presentation going for, so you guys can see exactly what it looks like, I'm going to add just a small amount of cheese. I'm going to cover it on down, place it into my preheated 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. We're going to take it one out, remove that aluminum foil. And it's time to dig in. This recipe right here, do not sleep on it. You hear me? It is going to be the best stuffed shells that you have ever tasted. Head on over to cookingwithtammy.shop. I am definitely going to leave the link in the bottom of this video, aka the description bar. Click on that link. If not, go to your web browser, cookingwithtammy.shop. Definitely get your seasonings. It's going to be so well worth it. For those of us who've already gotten our seasonings, yay! Big shout out to you. Let's continue to rock out in the kitchen. And I want to give a big shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you so much. You are definitely appreciated. And with all of that being said, I'm going to continue to bring those mouth-watering recipes. And with all of that being said, I will definitely catch all of you in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.